yeah, okay, perfect. Just so nothing gets lost. Somebody already asked me if everything gets taped, so.
I forgot how to put it on.
Okay.
Looking good? Oh, it's that side. Thank you. I thought that was that side. We're recording? Yeah, we're good. Hello, hello, hello. Anybody not in the first session? One person, two people. Hello. So we'll do a super quick thing. We have no slides, 0 slides in this session. The first session was about creating an inventory of your SQL servers and grabbing all the information and displaying it out to people in a really cool way. It's awesome. You should watch it. Watch the video that's been recorded. Come in, come in. So, as my friend said, now that you have all this information, you can now target your SQL servers in whichever way that you choose. If you need to only run something against the production SQL 2005 servers in Exeter for Metallica, you can do that. Because you have that one source of the truth, which you have, as a DBA, have put in, so you know about it. We've got PowerShell, which just enables you to make sure that you can go and grab all that information, whatever information it is that you need, in the way that you want. And because we're DBAs, we've got the SQL agent job to schedule everything. So now we're golden. Now we can go on and do everything we want. I'm going to give you a warning first. There is a distinct possibility that my lab might just go crunch. On Sunday, when I went to check everything, my Active Directory database had corrupted. That took me a while to work out because I don't know how to do that. I do now. I was also running all of those SQL servers, as well as these two at the bottom. So what I've decided to do is, instead of showing you it working against 2005, 2008, 2012 on 2008, 2012 on 2012, an availability group, SQL 2014 and SQL 2016, I'm just going to use the last two, just to hope that maybe we'll get through. So we'll pray to the demo gods, and hopefully we'll go. So as you can see, my massive environment is one domain controller and 2 SQL servers. Because I am a DBA, I'm very concerned about making sure that everything is backed up. We need to make sure that our data is available for our clients. That is our #1 responsibility. And what I choose to do is I choose to use Ola Hallegrand's maintenance solution to do that, because it does a number of cool things. particularly if you have new databases being created, it will take a full backup the first time it gets to do the transaction log backup. And as you know, when you've got clients, if you build a database for a client using whatever tool it is, and they go in and they make some changes, and then they muck it up 2 hours later, quite often the first support call that you'll get is, please can we restore the database back to 10 minutes after they started? Yeah, sorry, we haven't backed it up because it's all full backup doesn't happen until midnight and it kept failing because it hasn't. Transaction log backup kept failing because we haven't taken a full backup. That bit me once, and then I changed it with Ola. Unfortunately, Ola doesn't, by default, turn that flag on. I don't know why, but so you've got to go in and make that change. And here's the thing. You might want to back up your production servers every 15 minutes. But you might want to back your dev boxes full once every couple of weeks, perhaps. Maybe not at all. Maybe just log backups every 6 hours, whatever it is you've agreed. You might have different clients that have got gold service, bronze service, silver service that have different requirements for what their RPO and RTO are. So you as a DBA are required to create a custom schedule for their backups for each particular standard service. When you've got 2 servers, 5 servers, 20 servers, it's doable. When you've got 300 servers, 500 servers, 10,000 servers, it becomes a bit of a challenge. And Ola Hallegran's great because he keeps updating his solution. So a new solution will come out. Now you've got 200 servers, you've got to go and install the update script on each one. Well, we don't want to do that. We want to use automation. And there are a number of other tools that you can use. What we can the scripts that I use that I can tell you about are these ones. I like the Brentazar, SB Blitz, SB Blitz Index, Blitz Trace, Ask Brent. I create agent jobs which will run every Monday to put SB Blitz into a table. So that then our PowerBi report can go and look at any issues that have been found that we decide that we have to fix. Add a mechanics SB Who is active, a much better way of seeing what's going on your server than SB Who or SB Who 2 or the activity monitor. But we need to install it on every machine. I've also got an agent job, so it means that when you get your database is slow, first thing I can do, start the agent job. Now I'm capturing every 10 seconds what's happening on the machine, what the weights are, which processes are running, what's blocking, and it's putting it into a table. Whilst I might be investigating other things, I know that that's going on. I want that on all of my prod servers. Brentazar will release an update every quarter, it seems like he's in at the moment. And you need to be able to go out and push those to the right boxes. And some, I think it's Blitz Cache. He's now got 2 versions, one for 2005 and one for everything else. So we need to be able to target the right script to the right server. And most importantly, I'd like to tell you about this, because not very many people know about this. What this job does, by a guy whose name I can't remember, is after your Ola Hallegran backup has run, every single backup, so if you're doing your transaction logs every 5 minutes, it will run every 5 minutes. It will go to the directory where Ola saves the backups, and it will create a text file. And in that text file is the restore statements to restore your server back to the last available backup that you have got. So, one Thursday afternoon, I came back from lunch because my boss had phoned me, and he said, this server is not working. Okay, so we have a look. And our data drive had gone. Completely and utterly gone. So I went, SAN admins, server admins, you need to fix this. This server's got 275 databases on. It's serving 3 of our biggest clients. No, absolutely, not anymore. These people are all shouting at me because it's a database problem. Go and shout at them. And what they said was, oh, it's all gone corrupted and we don't know how to, and oh, it's going to take hours, and oh, my word. And I went, right, okay. We need to get this service back up and running. Can you just provision me another drive? Yeah, sure, great, do it, like now. Well, do you want us to fix this? No, get me my drive back. They got the drive back. As soon as the drive was back, I stopped work. I said to my junior DBA, go and restore all of those databases. 275 databases that were backed up full on a Friday night.
2 years ago.
No. This is production. Every Friday night, we did a full backup. Every other night, we did a differential backup. Every 15 minutes, we did a transaction log backup. So, Friday full, Saturday diff, Sunday diff, Monday diff, Tuesday diff, Wednesday diff, Thursday diff. Transaction log backup from 15 minutes past midnight, from half past midnight, like all the way through to this probably 2:30 by now in the afternoon. For 275 databases. Yeah. It took him a minute to copy the restore command text file into SSMS, take out the system databases, press go. Can you imagine how long it would have taken us? Because we would have had to do it, everybody in the team would have had to be working on this. Yeah, to be able to create all of those restore scripts in one go. It would be a serious amount of work. So, if you are using Hologram scripts, which I recommend to back up your databases, get hold of this guy. I'll grab the store procedure and I'll show you. Come back. Thank you. So, as we said when we were adding our instances, there's a little bit of manual work, and that's for this table. We have a script ID, we have a script name, we give it a description so stupid people will know what it's about, and a location, a share. At this point, it's on the same database server because everything went pop. But in the past, I have put it on the drop folder that I would use to build out a TFS. So make sure we're all source controlled, press go, it all ends up in this share, and we're ready to go. You can add as many or as few scripts as you want. You will have scripts as a DBA, and I know some of you have talked to me, where you will have your own special scripts for pulling in information from Active Directory, or doing SQL inventories, or making some sort of alerting system. Whatever it is that you've got, you just add it into this one place. There's a bit more to it than that. And this is how I do it. I've got an auto update PowerShell script, and that will run every night, no matter what. It's idempotent. It will run, and it will check. And what we'll check, I'll show you afterwards, is an update flag in a database table related to that script. So we just need to set that update flag for the SQL 2005 servers that Metallica have got in the Exeter data center, and the script will go through and only install scripts on those servers. And again, it's nothing magically fancy. We have our central DBA server. We have our DBA database. I've got a DBA admin database because I keep a change log on there. So if my junior DBA goes and makes a change on a server, he must write it into the changelog table. Actually, he must write into the script that he makes the change the bit to add it into the changelog table. So then he doesn't have to think about it. In fact, I created a PowerShell function specifically for that job. So now he doesn't even have to think about where it is and what I've got to do. I can just write add to changelog, the server name, this comment, and now it goes through. I make it easy for my junior DBA to stop making me grumpy, so that when I go and I look on a server where something's happened, I can see a changelog table in my DBA admin database that will record all the changes that happened. I also do that with this script, because it makes sense. We grab the date, grab the log file. As I said before, I use Jason Wasser's write log function because it does it great. Works really well. And this time, we make use of invoke SQL command too. So many of you will know, as we said before, invoke SQL command has a few issues. One of which is the fact the timeout doesn't work. It'll time out after 30 seconds, no matter what you put in. There are a few other bits and bobs that can cause you issues with that. So if you're going to use PowerShell to query invoke SQL command, query SQL Server, and you don't want to go to an SMO and create a data connection and go through that jazz, then you can do this. I've got a create database function. So if I've added a new server, I want to make sure that my DBA admin database is there. Set some mandatory limits just to stop SQL creating it with the default 10% growths and etc. There's nothing particularly magical about this. It's just a nice, simple way of creating a database. It's still got some right host in it, which it shouldn't. This is Jason Wasser. I would recommend you look at him. Yes, sir.
So I know I promised not to say.
No. Say as much.
I think one of the points I'd like to make about when you start creating these functions in PowerShell is that if you go on a team of DBAs, it forces them all to be consistent with the way that they create the databases, because there's nothing worse to find out that a DBA on your team is actually doing something completely stupid for the last 6 months, and it can take weeks to fix that kind of stuff. This is a way of kind of forcing consistency on your environment. It's hugely beneficial.
Yep. So for the recording, Mark said, I couldn't remember your name. Mark said that this is a great way of keeping consistency for the creation of your databases and stopping your junior DBAs from creating havoc that you need to fix at a later date. Apologies to any developers, but I wish I could do the same with the developers. I use the same catch block. Again, we don't want to keep typing the same stuff out. How many heartbeats have we got to write PowerShell? I've got loads, but let's not keep doing it. And we write out to the event log so that we can scrape it with those tools if we need to, and we write out to the log file. Oh, there's my function. Add changelog. Nothing complicated. Insert who did what. As I said, we've got an update flag for that script. So if we successfully manage to install our script, we want to clear the flag. So remove update flag. Very simply, goes to the central DBA server and takes it away. Again, I use the invoke SQL command because it just works for tiny queries. And then I've got an update instances with script. So I have T-SQL scripts and I have PowerShell scripts that I like to update my SQL servers with. This function will update the SQL servers with a T-SQL script. And as you can see, there's a T-SQL query to find the servers that need updates. Where needs updates equals 1. And again, for those that weren't in the earlier session, we check to see whether the server is active. We've marked it with an inactive flag. And we check to see if it's contactable, because we might have systems which are PCI or legal or health data where you can't get to them from your central DBA server. Or we might have people that, you look after client domains, so you don't have the permissions to connect through. And because this is my demo, got demo equals 1. And in exactly the same way as we did when we were gathering the data, what we do is we pull those instances into an instances variable, and we try to load them into the for each loop. Because of the way that I store the information in the instance list table, I need to pass out the server name and the instance name and the port and munch them together to give me my connection. I then create an SMO object at a server level and check that I've got my DBA admin database. If I haven't got it, I use my function to create it. I used to write that the DBA admin database was always there, but that got boring reading that in the log file, so we changed that. Interestingly, I've just noticed in this version of the script, I haven't got my try catch. So I'll explain it now. If you create that object and your connection variable doesn't exist because you fat-fingered it, SQL will still create you, PowerShell will still create you a SMO server object and place it in that variable and give it a name of, I fat-fingered this SQL server, and every other property will be blank. And what you'll find is you'll go, oh, great, you've got this SMO object. Right now, can you go and tell me all the databases on it? And there'll be a 30-second delay while it tries to connect to the SQL server that doesn't exist. And then it'll bomb out and say, no, it's not there. So there's no point, I do it anyway, but there's no real value in checking that that SMO object has been created. The value is checking if a property has been defined for it, because that means that PowerShell has gone to SQL, grabbed that information and put it back into this variable, into this SMO object. Normally, what I do is I use the version property, because the first time I hit this problem, I was trying to grab versions. It will work for any other property. That just happens to be the one I choose, except in this version of the script, which I need to change. So for those of you who don't know about traversing through SQL servers with SMO, you could create a new SQL Server database SMO object, or you can just traverse your way through. So we make a check. I fancy the challenge of creating a table in T-SQL, in PowerShell more than in T-SQL, because I knew how to do it in T-SQL. So I thought I'd have a play and create some columns. And very simply, it's the changelog table. It's got a primary key of changelog ID. We have a date, an instance name, change description, and a username. And we add them all and finish. Add the columns, add the indexes, and then create the table. If you look at a SQL Server while these scripts are running, if you run Profiler or an extended events session, what you will see is the T-SQL that you expect to see when a create table statement is being run. Nothing magical is happening. So the next thing that we do is completely forgotten. Is go and grab our input file from the script location. And that's why I use invoke SQL command. Because what I found was that when I used invoke SQL command 2, the input file didn't work so well with the UNC share and some of the formatting that I had in these scripts. So give it a go. Let me know how you get on. Your results may vary. You might find invoke SQL command 2 works great for you. Keep using it. Or you might find if you get some issues, switch it back to invoke SQL command. And then we do a change log because we're good DBAs and we want to make sure that we record the fact that we've made a change because otherwise the boss comes in and he's really angry with me. And then we remove the update flag. And literally, that's it. It runs every night. There's some exceptions. For each, I keep thinking about whether I can do this in a better way. And I'm sure I probably can. But the more scripts I add, the further I get away from thinking about how I can simplify it. And what I do is for each brain dead. For each one of the scripts that I've got in my script install table, I add this try catch block and just change the script name to match what is written in my script table. So to install the Ola maintenance plans, we find the script name Ola. And the script goes through and it checks any needs update flag for the Ola script, and then it will go and install it. Ola scripts, Brent scripts, Ada mechanics, they are all, you're able to run them all on servers that already have those things installed. So when you write your own custom scripts for the thing that your boss says that you must do, make sure that you write it in such a way that if you run the script again and again and again and again, it still does the same thing. Because you don't want errors that you could easily avoid. Now, for most of you guys, it probably means make sure that your junior DBAs understand the value of if exists, if not exists, in their T-SQL scripts. So we'll install Ola scripts, and we'll install the Brent SB Blitz, and they're all done in exactly the same way. Any T-SQL script that we've got just runs through in this loop, and it installs overnight or whenever your maintenance window is, and it goes through. Match logins agent job. I wrote a brilliant PowerShell script to match the logins that are on one server to the logins on another server for an availability group, so that when the application created the logins on node 1 and it failed over, those people could still log in. It works absolutely brilliantly in PowerShell. Doesn't work when it's run as an agent job. So I looked at it and I thought, yeah, okay, this is version 3. So I rewrote it with version 2, and it works brilliantly in PowerShell. It even works brilliantly in the SQL PS PowerShell from SQL Management Studio. It doesn't work in an agent job. So I moved it and used a task scheduler to run it, which was a pain, but it did the job in the end. I keep it there to remind me that I need to go back and revisit it. And actually, probably what I will do is go and talk to Chrissy Lemaire and see if I can get her scripts to work on it, because she's got some good copy logins, migration type scripts. The other thing I would say for anybody who's a consultant or a contractor or moves around from different places, is if you are using Brent Azars or Ola Halograms or Adam Mechanics scripts, make sure that you understand the rules that they have for you being able to deploy them. So what you've got to do when you want to do Brent Azar scripts is you have to sign up for them using an email from that account. I can't take my Brent Azar scripts from here to my client and use them there. I can, obviously, but that's not the way to do it. So respect these people that give their time and effort to provide us with free tools that make our work so much easier, and respect the way that they say you can use them if you're going to go into different places. Once Ola's scripts will automatically create you a full diff, a transaction log backup script. But you might have different data centers, or you might have different requirements from where your backups are stored for different environments or different clients, different gold standards. So you will need to create different jobs for each of those things. And that's what this is about. Can we create an Ola slow prod job? I think it should have been SLA at one point, but there we go. And there's a dev job. So those go to different places. So that's how simple it is for you to be able to organize your backup solution. Install Ola's script, create the T-SQL to create the job to back it up to the place that you need to back it up to, put it in here. Got some alerting, got some extended event sessions, any sort of troubleshooting type things, enabling database mail. Store procedures. There we go, that's what we want to do. The other way that I install scripts for SQL is to use PowerShell scripts. So Ola doesn't create you a schedule for your maintenance solution, because he doesn't know what your client's RPO and RTO is. He doesn't know how much your gold service gets me and how it differs from your bronze service. He leaves it all to you to configure. And if you've got hundreds of servers, you don't want to have to go and click onto each one. So we've got a schedule Ola's job function. It's on, I don't think it's on GitHub, I think it's on the script repository. And again, all we do is connect through to the SMO server object, go to the job server, that's why I picked that up, isn't it? Go to the job server property, and then look at the jobs. Here's the thing. Some of you will be looking at thinking, awesome, I can use that to get some job history for my jobs. I can find out how long it takes them to run. You can. Here's the warning. SQL, in their wisdom, decide to store the time for your agent job per job step. Okay, it's not so bad. I might have 15 job steps in some of these jobs. That's okay, we can just add it up together. Warning, SQL decided to store the time for each of those job steps as an integer. Damn. Okay, so I just need to use a little bit of clever mathematics to work out what it is. No. If your job is 33 seconds long, it will record 33. If your job is 10 minutes and 33 seconds long, it will record 1,033. If your job is 1 day, 10 hours and 33 seconds long, it's 11,033. So it is possible, as you can work out, to go through, do the logic to turn all of those into proper date time stamps and put it. But what I found is it took the job that I used to capture the agent job results. It changed that from running in about 20 minutes across 400 and something servers to 4.5 hours. And it used up all of the RAM on the SQL Server, and it interfered with every other job that was on there, and it wasn't worth doing at all. So, I hope they fix it. I have fed it back every time I've spoken to people from Microsoft, from the SQL Server team. There are ways, I think, easier in T-SQL to do that calculation. So it might be that you need to look at the way of doing that. Or maybe you guys have got other and better ideas, and we can talk about that later. So what I then do is go and look for the system database is full and alter the schedule in this way. Yeah, do you remember what Jared said? I did the same thing, but I'll put get date in there. It works. You can do it in other ways. When does it end? What are our frequency types, sub-day types, the interval? When do we want it to start? When do we want the start time for the day? Is it enabled? Create. Done. And we do that for our full databases. And this is my schedule. So you might have different options that you require. I have a full backup that happens on a Sunday at midnight. Go.
Just a question.
Yeah, anytime.
Why are you hard-coding those? Why is it not that you try to load those from a PSD1 or something?
Because the way that we started doing this, it was an iterative development of it. So when we started, we just wanted to set everything that had Ola to this one place. It was only later, as we added on, that we've changed it. So yes, in the same way as I think about how can I make this script better to be less complex and easier to add stuff to, this is another point where actually I could take some of those values over into that. The reason I haven't done that yet, DSC. Okay? So when I've finished this, the next thing I'm going to be doing is working with a few of the guys to look at the SQL Server and the SQL PS DSC resource, and merge them into one and make them do things properly. And I'm hoping that when I do that, I might actually find that I can do this in DSC. There's no reason why you can't have a...
No, but that is configuration, right? Because I was confusing it with the actual shell. I'm sorry.
No.
Yes.
It's a perfectly valid point. There is absolutely no reason why we couldn't put this in a table on the SQL Server DBA. We could put it just in a PSD1 file, absolutely, and go and read it from there and put it in, absolutely. Would make it so much easier to change, absolutely. But my brain is now thinking perhaps DSC, so I want to go and try that. Diff jobs, midnight, not Sunday, because we do our falls on Sunday. Transaction log backups, okay. Hourly between 7 and 3. That's odd. Why would you do that, Rob? Because this was particularly for a development team, and the development team worked in the time zone that we were in between 7 and 1 in the morning. And then they would leave some stuff running when they went home, so they wanted it to go on a little bit further. And then they had a big load job, and a lot of transactions going through. So they didn't want transactions, so taking data out of this particular system. So they didn't actually want anything else interfering with it between 3 and 7. So we can be as customized as we like when we're setting these things up. Do whatever it is that fits with your environment. the rest of it is all as you'd expect. It's integrity checks, user databases. And let me show you how it works. Script install table. Here is our reporting. Which servers have had which jobs run against them? It's all just foreign keys. We just go and look it up and bit. Makes it nice and easy to report on. Plug it into PowerBi. Instant script lookup table. Really simple. Instance list script ID, the primary key. The instance ID, which script ID it is, needs update. That's the flag that the script uses to decide, do I need to put this script on the server or not? So, yes, I have removed them. What we need to do is decide that for some reason, SQL 2014 server 12 R2 server has got no backup jobs on it. Nothing up my sleeves. Look, refresh, brand new, no backup jobs. And exactly the same for SQL 2016 when, is that 12? Yeah, 12 R2. It works for server 2016 as well. No backup jobs. So this is my script for idiot junior DBAs. So there's a lot of green in here, and it says this is what we need to do. But very simply, give me a server name, give me an instance name. You can see the sort of junior DBAs I worked with. You'll never meet them. It's okay. They won't watch this, so it's fine. Update the instance script lookup table, where the script IDs in one of those, with the names next to them. Only one of these in capitals. If I could make it flash, I'd have made it flash because junior DBAs. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the needs update flag on for all of those jobs for that server. And for this server too. Okay, that sounds a bit manual, doesn't it?
Feedback. We have some guys doing SQL scripts. We need to deploy them to customers and so on and so on. We went another route. We decided that every time a script changes, the date stamp of that script is like put into a field and compared, and that's all we do. So we don't have like it needs an update flag.
Continuous integration, absolutely. But I have installed all those scripts on my dev system, on my QA system, on my live system. He's released an update. I don't want to put that update onto my live system.
Yes.
What I want to do is to be able to target the ones that are in the dev and in the UAT first, make sure it works, and then target the live ones. Yeah. Swings and roundabouts, oranges and lemons, whichever one is going to work for you, make it work for you.
We tiered like dev, Q, and prod,
Yeah.
and we do like deploy dev, then QM, then
Absolutely, that works.
yes.
Brilliant. And that's the point, that's the beauty of IT. Here is our problem. Here is the way a beardy bloke who likes PowerShell and SQL will solve it. Here is the way somebody who likes to do things in a different way with a different team will do it. Those guys do something different, you do something different, and those are just the people I've talked to. Everybody can find a way of doing it. There's no one answer to everything. Isn't IT great? But this is for adding a new server for the junior DBA. And other times we will work out the script ID, where the server is in select instance ID from DBO instance list, where server OS version equals 2008 R2 and SQL version equals 2012. And then we can run it. So if we run that T-SQL script, and then check. We can now see that we have turned on the needs update flag for all of these jobs on 2014 and the 2016 box. We could wait for the Halloran script to, just remember, to run every night, but good. What we will do instead, just prepare myself, is run it in PowerShell. Oh, grief. Where are we missing? Nope, path is null. Duh. Okay. I didn't pray enough to the demo gods. That's fallen out for some reason. I know why. I know why. It's because come on. The script is running over there. Ah. What I forgot to do was to sign into the beard. Which makes me wonder. Okay. This is why that one's working. There we go. So, this is just the output of the log file, so you can see it while it's running. You do know that they fixed this in SQL 2016, and for some reason my if statement isn't working to stop me loading it. I don't know why. It's cool. Any questions while it runs? Because it's going to take a minute for SQL, the new SQL PS module to load itself. Go for it.
I just wanted to make a remark regarding the duration of your SQL jobs.
Yes.
I found a script online, don't know the guy, unfortunately, but I go around it by getting the start time and the end time and just making a time diff and
Yeah.
putting that into a column.
Absolutely. So there's a start time property and a end time property,
Yeah.
and you could just do a diff from those. So that's it gives you the total time of your job,
Yeah.
which is better than nothing. When I have 15 job steps and I need to know which one's suddenly taking a long time.
I use it, I just put it into a table, and then I let another job check the table to see if my last runtime deviates too much from the average of the last month, so I can check and see if there's any issues with
Excellent.
data.
Do what he said. That's brilliant. Any other questions? Wow. Nothing? No? That's good. Can you see how powerful this could be once it actually runs? Normally this is happening at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm asleep. I don't see it. It's cool.
I saw your picture on Twitter that it was working previously.
Definitely was working previously.
Or something. The demo gods.
Demo gods don't love me. Let's see what we've got. SQL. 20. Okay, good. Okay, it appears. No. I can only apologize. Okay, it hasn't logged. Oh, there we go. Brilliant. A logging failure. So, wow. I cannot explain that. Let me show you what a proper log file looks like. There we go. Just to show we can create an error, and that's what an error looks like. And in general, my log files look every night, checked to see if anything was there, nothing there. Zip all the way through. I have another PowerShell script that runs as an agent job, which will go through and scrape any errors out of any of the error log files that we've got. Because I've got 2 or 3 dozen PowerShell scripts that are running on schedules doing various things. And we just display all of those on our front screen. So our DBA front screen, where we've got our agent jobs, which agent jobs have failed, has also got a PowerShell log files error. It just goes there. Click on that, takes you, shows you the error, and we've got them all scraped through. So that's how it how it works. Why it's decided not to log, I have no idea. Let's have a look at 2016. Let's see if we have. No, so it's not done in 2016. But as you said, there is a picture on Twitter showing it working. You can see it's half worked and it hasn't scheduled it. And I think my time is nearly done. Any questions? Other than, does it really work, Rob? Because I promise you it does, because it's what I use, and I've used in 3 or 4 different places now. And it works very well.
You were referring to Ola,
Yes,
Brent,
yes.
and the Dutch guy we spoke about yesterday.
Andre? No, I didn't know. That was the other thing. Good work, my friend, because the thing I didn't tell you was this guy. Jared Zagelbaum. Okay? This is the script that will create you your restore text file. And if I remember rightly, and that's what it looks like. So, number 1, does not perform a tail log backup. But if your data drive's disappeared, tail log backup ain't going to help you. But you can imagine how big this script was with 275 databases on one server. It was humongous, but it was a minute's work for the guys to sort it out. So I highly recommend that. And if there's no more questions, by my reckoning, got 4 more minutes extra for coffee. Okay?
Okay, I have a question, but do you have any insight at which point in time, like, there might nice clean